In today's video, I'll walk you through a step-by-step process on how to mix Afrobeat vocals. I will also share a template and preset that I will be using. So be sure to stick around, subscribe, like this video, and hit on the notification bell. Plus, these presets work with any DAW you are using, so you don't want to miss out. Without wasting much time, let's get right into it. So this is the project we are going to work on. Let's listen to the song we are going to work on it now. So this is the raw state of the song. I only have autotune on it over here. Yeah, so let's listen to it.
One day we all go die, so make we not stay there for sadness. You we first thing, thank God for life. Wanna next move, no give a nine to some stressful things. Just to make sure you're where you day, peace of mind day. Cause I didn't inside, they come nipo. We getting one life, YOLO. Any go there, yes, to when you not there. So why sleeping who you on where you don't know? Make we enjoy life or you go by one day. We get it one life, YOLO. Any go there, yes, to when you not there. So why sleeping who you on where you don't know? Make we enjoy life or you go by one day.
Yeah, so basically that is the project we are going to work on, and as I said, I have autotune set on. So for the autotune, I know most of you know how to set autotune, but let me go back to it again. Always in my video I said we set the key of the beat to the vocal. So the key of the beat is E major. So as you can see, I set the autotune over here, and the retune speed too is how much autotune you are sending to the vocal. So for that one, I sent 7 to it, and the humanize too. I just want the autotune to sound natural because the artist is a good singer. I don't want to crank the autotune to the extent that the artist will be singing like a robot. And also sometimes too, when you solo the vocals, the artist might miss certain keys. It's up to you, the engineer, to fix it. I have a video about that though, but in Cubase there is how to fix it. You double click and click on edit vari audio over here.
Just to make sure you're where you day, peace.
Yeah, so these are the notes the artist is singing on. So in case the artist miss any note, you can just push it to the right note over here. Yeah, so basically that is how the vari audio works. I have a full video on that. You can check that in my channel, but they just by the way. So let's say the artist is a good singer. We have fixed those vari audios, and yeah, we have set our autotune and everything is okay now. So now let's move on to our settings now. So in this preset, I'm going to use Wave Studio Rack so that everyone can get access to it. No matter what DAW you are using, you can get this preset. So I'll be using the Studio Rack, which I know every producer have it. So yeah, I'm going to play the vocal solo so that I can listen to the vocals well.
We getting one life, YOLO. Any go there, yes, to when you not there.
Yeah, so after listening to the vocals, I noticed that the vocals has a lot of sibilances in it. There are too much highs in the vocal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a DSR to control the highs first, because in mixing we solve problem first before we boost up things. So yeah, if you don't solve the problem first and you start by boosting up things, the problem will be worse. For this one, I'll start with my DSR over here. Yeah, so I'm using the Wave DSR over here to control the sibilances that are in the vocal.
So why sleeping who you on where you don't know? Make before you go by one day. We get it one life, YOLO. Any go there, yes, to when you not there. So why sleeping who you on where you don't know? Make we enjoy life before you go by one.
Yeah, so as you can hear, the sibilances are gone. This is before and after. This without the DSR.
Any go there, yes, to when you not there. So why sleeping who you on where you don't know? Make we enjoy life before you go by one day. We get it one life, YOLO. Any go there, yes, to when you not there. So
yeah, so the place he said still. Yeah, so you can hear that the sibilances are gone. So after controlling the sibilances, then we can add our EQ. As I said, we solve problems first before we boost up things. So I'll be using Far Filter Pro Kill over here. Yeah, though we are using Studio Rack, but the latest Studio Rack, you can use another plugins and open it in the Studio Rack. So if I save this Studio Rack preset for you, you can as well load it. So let's listen to the vocals whilst I high pass over here.
So why sleeping who you on where you don't know? Your life for you go by one day. Alikoto, brokoto, make you dance some azonto. Living your life, make you pull up.
Yeah, so I think this is okay. For this one, we are cutting all the lowest frequencies in the vocal because we don't need that in the vocal. After cutting the lowest frequencies, then I'm about to do my normal boost and cut over here. So basically, most of my videos I do this. So I just boost and sweep through. Anywhere I find a bad frequency, I'll just bring it down. So for this process, I'm going to speed it up just to save some time, because yeah, I know most of you guys know this, and at the end of the day too, I'm going to give this preset to you as well. So yeah, you don't need to worry. So let's go in.
You go there, yes, to when you not there. So why you sipping who you on where you don't know? Make we enjoy life for you go by one day. Ali koto, brokoto, go make you dance some azonto.
So yeah, I am done EQing the vocals. So now let's listen to before and after the EQ.
Cause I dream sa ne kum ni po. We getting one life YOLO. Any go there, yes, to when you not there. So why you sipping who you on where you don't know? Make we enjoy life for you go by one day. We get it one life YOLO. Any go there, yes, to when you not there. So why you sipping who you on?
Yeah, so you can hear that after I engage the DSR and the EQ, the vocals sound warm and round now. But before that, the vocals was having a lot of highs, a lot of sibilances in it. So as you can see from my EQ, I cut a lot of the 5 kilohertz over here because that part was peaking a lot. So I use the EQ to bring them down, and also some of the mid ranges over here. Yeah, so now let's try and add our compressor over here, for which I'm going to use the CLA2A compressor. So this is my compressor. Always I turn this one to flat because I don't want that kind of high frequency boost over here. So I always set it to flat. So now let's try and compress our vocals.
Who you on where you don't know? Make we enjoy life for you go by one day. Ali koto, brokoto, go make you dance some azonto. Living your life, make you pull up from one condo. Free some stress, make you pop up the champagne in commando. Ali koto, brokoto, go make you dance some azonto. Living your life, make you pull up from one condo. Free some stress, make you pop up.
Yeah, so basically for me, I do compress my vocals hard. I must be honest with you, cause I know a lot of people do not over compress and stuff. I don't over compress, but I make sure I glue the vocals to the extent that whenever I merge it together with the beats, the vocals won't be jumping up and down. Yeah, so this is my first compressor. After adding my first compressor, I'll go ahead and add a PureTech EQ just to boost some of the frequencies up. So as you can see, we solve problems first before we boost up things, right? So I'm using my PureTech over here. Yeah, so this is the PureTech EQ. So for this EQ, I'm going to boost around the 4 kilohertz, about 4 dB. Yeah, I think that will be okay for this one. So let's listen to how it sounds with the PureTech EQ.
You day peace of mind day, cause I dream sa ne kum ni po. We getting one life YOLO. Any go there, yes, to when you not there. So why you sipping who you on where you don't know? Make we enjoy life for you go by one day. We get it one life YOLO. Any go there, yes, to when you not there. So why you sipping who you on where you don't know? Make we enjoy life for you go by one day. Ali koto, brokoto, go make you dance some azonto. Living your life, make you pull up from one condo. Free some stress, make you pop.
Yeah, so I think the frequency I boosted makes sense to me a lot because the vocals already have a lot of sibilances in it. So me boosting around the 10 kilohertz and above will make the vocals sound very harsh for me. Yeah, so I boosted the 3 kilohertz. You need to listen to your vocals before you mix them. When you get this preset, make sure you adjust it to your taste, and yeah, because I'm just setting this preset according to my vocal. So whenever you get it to, you can do that as well. So the next thing I'm going to add is another compressor, for which I'm going to use the Arvos compressor over here. So this is basically a simple compressor though. I'll just bring it down. Yeah, so I'm getting about 4 dB gain reduction from this, and also just to compensate for the volume loss during the compression. So I think I'll back it up about negative 2 dB is okay. So
pop up the champagne in commando, commando. Best enough for Sean the masses. If I put yourself first, be that too. Love for the lover, be that simple.
So the next thing I'm going to add now is also I'm going to add fresh air over here. Yeah, fresh air from wave, just to bring up a little bit of the highs. For this one, I'm not going to use the high air because the vocals already have some highs in it. So I'm going to use the mid air just to boost some of the mids of the vocals. So for this, I'm going to add only 5%. Yeah, I'm not doing much.
We getting one life YOLO. Any go there, yes, to when you not there. So I sipping who you on where you don't know. Make we enjoy life for you go by one day. We get it one life YOLO. Any go there, yes, to when you not there. So I sipping who you on where you don't know. Make we enjoy life for you go by one day. Ali koto, brokoto, go make you dance some azonto. Living your life, make you pull up from.
Yeah, so now I guess the fresh air makes sense to this mix now. So The next thing I'm going to add is my doubler. I want to give the vocal some sense of stereo effect on it, so I'm using a doubler for it, for which I'm going to use it as a send, but I'm using it as a send on the studio rack so that when I export the preset, you can get everything together. So to do that, I'll just select my parallel split over here and add a doubler over here. So I'll add a doubler. Yeah, so I choose the doubler 4. So for the doubler 4, I have a preset I use over here. So you can just copy the setting. This is just my preset I use for my doubler. So let me solo out the vocals and send a little bit of the doubler to the vocals.
Pull up for one condo, free some stress, make it pop. Mato, alikoto, brokotoko, make it dance on my santo. Living your life, make you pull up for one condo, free some stress, make you pop.
Yeah, so as you can hear, we are adding some stereo effect to the vocal just to make it a little bit wider. And you see, during the doubler too, I boosted the highs in the doubler, as you can see over here. So that is why I didn't add more highs during the insert, because I know I'll get most of my highs from my doubler. So as you can see, I boost here 4.5 dB. Yeah, so basically sometimes you need to do things in a subtle way just to get whatever you want. So yeah, that's all for the doubler. And also I'll add another send, which I will add my delay and my reverb. So for the reverb, I'm going to use Valhalla vintage reverb over here. So for my reverb, I just love the 1980 color over here. So my decay, I'll set my decay to 2.5 and my pre-delay to 35. You can just divide 60,000 by your BPM. Whatever you get is your pre-delay or your decay time. Yeah, I have a video on that. You can check it out. But for this one, I am just setting it off head. So the low cut, I'll set it to 380, and the high cut, I'll increase it a little bit. And I'll send the reverb to the vocal. So over here, let's do that.
Make you pop up the champagne, commando, commando. Festing up for Sean the masses. If you put yourself first, be that too. Love for the lover, be that simple. Yeah, never could they stick on nothing problem. Man your business, massa if I go them. Take my son.
Yeah, so I think that will be all for this mix, and I'll save this preset to you guys. So I think let me rename it afrobeat vocals so that I can give to you guys. Yeah, so to load this preset, you just come here and select load preset file, and you just have to locate it. So there is it, and you just load it in the studio rack. It's just simple, and you just tweak it to your liking. Yeah, so now let's listen to everything now, and thank you for watching this video once again. I am Mirakilouz Beatz. Make sure you subscribe to this channel, like this video, and also hit on the notification bell so that anytime I post, you'll be the first person to get notified.
One day we all go die, so make we not sit there for sadness. You we first in thank God for life. Wanna next move, no give a 9 to some stressful things. Just to make sure you're where you day, peace of mind day. Cause I dream sir, they come nipo. We get in one life, YOLO. Any go there, yes, to when you not there. So why sleeping who you on where you don't know? Make we enjoy life or you go by one day. We get in one life, YOLO. Any go there, yes, to when you not there. So why sleeping who you on where you don't know? Make we enjoy life or you go by one day. Alikoto, brokoto, go make you dance on my santo. Living your life, make you pull up from one condo. Free some stress, make you pop up the champagne in commando. Alikoto, brokoto, go make you dance on my santo. Living your life, make you pull up from one condo. Free some stress, make you pop up the champagne in commando. Commando. Best enough for Sean the masses. If you put yourself first.